taking a look at the action here. So you guys are going to be taking a brand new look at our graphics for Picks and Bans. You no longer have to stare at us anymore.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Can't look into Scott Gandhi's beady eyes anymore right now. But, I mean, this is, Scott, this is the first, this is still preseason qualifiers, but this is the first professional Smite match we've gotten since the Worlds. I am ready to go.
Yeah, so already we're going to see a shot at Loki, which is a little bit unusual to me just right off the rip, but the X-Ball here, or Xbalanque for those of you at home, Xbalanque is just insanely good god right now. He's a monster. Yeah. If he gets rolling early, it's like, oh, late game, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, so Xbalanque has, like, the steroid on the #1 ability, branching bolas, and that just synergizes well with the purple buff that we've introduced, so that's why he's been banned out. Serket, pretty standard, and Ao Kwang on the corner as well. Standard, just we don't want to play against these god-type characters because they're just so potent.
Yeah, absolutely. And Serket, I mean, everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, Serket. I'm kind of on the opposite side. I don't think she's as strong as people make her out to be, but first pick here is going to be Athena for complexity. No shocker here. If you guys follow any kind of Incon social media or his YouTube, he has been praising Athena day in, day out, says there's no counter for her. She's S+, she does all of the things. And the big thing that Athena brings is kind of at 12 minutes when she's engaging, that's beads. And then their warriors are just like, aha, backline. Right? Like, that's
I mean, everybody brings up the global, which is obviously a giant part of that kit. But the taunt is so strong, sets up things like Krakens that are easily countered are not countered anymore when you introduce the taunt. On the other side, on the red team for HiFive, Agni and Thor picked up two very strong choices. Agni is just a staple of the mid lane, always has been, always will be because of the combination stun and the dash. And Thor, we talked about him early, just a very strong pick in the jungle.
Thor is one of those gods who early game can pretty much control every single aspect of the game. His passive gives him more damage the more enemy gods who are around him, which makes him extremely potent. Now, option over to complexity, Bakasura gets picked in as well as Poseidon. Poseidon, who is probably my favorite mid god just flat. I think he has some of the best clear. He's very, very strong, but on top of that, he has all the bursts pre-level 12, and what he's going to add to this team is he's going to add a lot of rotations, but the big question is, does complexity give Kiki Poseidon, who's notorious for not having male gods? Right?
I mean, that is the thing. We see a lot of Aphrodite and things like that out of him. I'm going to go and say healer gods that we see more out of Kiki. Poseidon, but either way, definitely a complete 360 from what we're used to seeing, or 180 at least, from what we're used to seeing out of Kiki. Poseidon is a strong, aggressive, front-forward mage where Kiki usually plays like, I'm going to buy CDR boots type gods. So I want to see how this works out. And Bakasura, I hope it's for the solo lane. I don't know if Bakasura has really opened up into the jungle with this new map. I mean, speed buff kind of helps him out a little bit, but he's one of my favorite solo lane characters, and I really hope to see him in there.
Yeah, so Guan Yu's going to get picked up here. So throughout the PTS and in the early stages of this live, which was really just Wednesday, Guan Yu, we've seen him in the support role. It could very well happen that way here if he goes into the duo lane, and that's going to be a Ymir pickup as well. So these two could kind of be interchangeable. My money would be on the only other place Ymir can go at a professional level is like jungle, and based on the Thor, so that shows me that that's going to be a Ymir duo lane and a Guan Yu solo.
Yeah, I expect to see the Guan Yu solo lane. We saw this even last year, but only by Omega.
Yeah,
he was the only player that played it, and to his credit, we saw a lot of solid things out of Guan Yu. He gets a bad rap. He's sort of always thrown at the bottom of the tier list, but he's just sort of forgotten. He shreds protections, he heals, and the horse is a great initiation. He's not the greatest guy in the game, but he definitely does what he's supposed to do. And speaking of players that are supposed to do that, that's what Odin does. He's got a specific thing, but it's, you know what it is? It's Circle Ultimate.
All right, so Complexity's roster right now. Options obviously over to HiFive, as you guys can see on your screen. Is it, and that's going to be a Neith. So Neith is going to go into the duo lane with Ymir, with giving Guan Yu solo, Thor in the jungle, Agni in the mid. Now, Complexity, though, is that an Athena jungle and an Odin support? Or is that a Baka jungle and an Odin solo Or is this actually an Odin jungle, which is something we haven't seen since the rework week 3 of SPL season 1?
Now, Scott, I'm going to go ahead and definitely put my money on the fact that this is an Odin jungle. Odin really goes and finds his stride in the mid game, that early to mid game where his damage really comes online. Cupid is going to be in the long lane, and Poseidon's going to be in the mid lane, which means that Odin's ring is going to cheese combo in 2 separate lanes when he jumps in from the jungle. So he's going to jump in mid, put the circle down. Agni can dash, but he can't dash away from through the spears, and he can jump down, and nobody can really jump out from the Cupid thing. So we're going to get things underway. Here we are entering the battle. Complexity on the left side of your spectator UI in the blue, while HiFive represents the red team.
Yeah, so that actually really is an Odin jungle. Weekend's doing the thing. So Weekend, we've really focused a lot on Weekend really before WSC or SWC, excuse me, and everything else, but he's known for like assassin single target gods. He's not known for these like Odin trap you down, helping out my team kind of gods. That's not his role. Right. That's not what he does.
I mean, it's not what he does, but, you know, you got to be versatile in the professional league. That's really what you need to be able to pull out. We're all pretty much familiar with the Complexity lineup. HiFive, however, some familiar names if you followed Thirst last season. Let's go through it. Elbro Chacho is going to be supporting on Ymir Nantan, so it's the same dual lane. El Chapu, though, is a new face. He'll be playing Thor in the jungle, while Vulture will be playing mid lane. Wolfie going to return to the solo lane on that Guan Yu.
So now the one big change that we've made here is that the mid Harpies will be spawning up at 3 minutes, so this is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. Right. Now, a lot of people have tried a couple different things, and it looks like we are going to be having an invade potentially on the right side here as Odin, and that's going to be Cyclone Spin on Bakasura, who are just going to go ahead and just steal right away this blue buff. That's going to give them a very, very big advantage right off the break, and there was no early wards to even detect it.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, Bacchus, if you're gonna steal a jungle camp with anybody, Odin and Bakasura can do it. You see how much damage that that bird bomb does with the leap in, and then of course Bakasura has the built-in hog where you can just eat the camp. So that's gonna be a very easy steal for the guys in blue and give them not a money lead just yet, but definitely a lead as far as the solo lane is concerned.
Yep, so they were able to get both blues there. They didn't want to just drop it and kind of wait to get it. They just decided to, you know what, I'm just going to pick it up. As we take a look at the mid lane here, though, we can see a little bit of early pressure here coming out from the Thor. That's pretty much what Thor does. Shockingly enough, he didn't go to help out Guan Yu at all, and that's really just because they lost the blue.
Thor down in the middle lane. He's going to go ahead and clear, like you said. And it's all alone is Kiki. And I think that this is intentional. They understand that Kiki's new to the position, so they want to pressure it. And speaking of pressure, over there in the left-hand lane, some good freezes coming out from Ymir, but no kills just yet as Thor lurks.
Yeah, now, really eyes on Incon throughout this entire game with Athena. I want to see how he's going to be rotating. I want to see what kind of pressure he has. The synergy with Cupid is pretty good. It's okay. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's definitely going to get the job done.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to happen over there as far as that's concerned. And taking a look, I mean, this dual lane is the interesting part. Cupid is a character that we really don't get to see a lot of, and Neith is a character we don't get to see a lot of either. I mean, Nantan really loves that Neith, but here comes the aggression. Good stun out, but Cupid's dash is the size of a football field, so he's going to be fresh and clean, and Athena's going to make his way out. So the first gank is failed, and Agni even rotates. So that's going to give some free farm over into the mid lane, and that'll push him up about half a level.
That was a lot of resources wasted on this. As you can see in the mid lane here, that there is just going to be, they're going to eat that entire wave. So Thor might miss out on a couple creeps there, as well as Agni, as Weekend's going to try to zone him out there. So he wisely just kind of just last hit saves the XP, which is the new dynamic this year. Before it was like shove, throw it into the wave, but now it's like, just kind of stall it.
Yeah, it's definitely more about the smaller things you do. It's about getting the small gains. We saw some last hits as Odin throws his ultimate in the middle for absolutely nothing, unfortunately. But we saw some wave freezing in last year's SPL, but this season, it's a major marquee choice to do, as Neith is in a little bit of trouble.
There's the backflip there. You got Weekend coming in on the side.
There he is.
Weekend's got a little bit. He's going to get froze. Bird Bomb's going to be there. Do they have the damage to finish this, though? He's not going to commit on that. Cupid was just a little bit little bit too slow in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, that's the downfall for using that Odin ultimate for nothing over there in the mid lane. If he had that ult, he would have been dead, but not able to get the kill. 3 minutes in, the mid Harpies are spawning. No kills on the board just yet. Left cams go to the blue team. Right cams go as well.
Now, the even bigger thing here is that Complexity getting both, as you just said, but they have complete control over everything. Guan Yu, when you look at it, Wolfie's, he's not too far behind, but in the sense of pressure, Guan Yu shines in the early stage, and he has to be careful because Cyclone Spin being level 6, he's got Regurgitate online, he probably has the stacks. We might see him all in.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that Wolfie on Guan Yu doesn't really do. Guan Yu steals protections with that shred, but what it doesn't do, it's not going to be good enough because the true damage coming out from Bakasura's Butcher Blades is really where the damage comes from. Protections aren't going to stop the true damage, so what is sort of Guan Yu's boon in that regard isn't going to help him much against this particular character.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. But I think Bakasura is still, like, as you look at it as the game progresses, he's still going to be okay.
Right,
Guan Yu is going to get this weird point where he's just going to start, like, kind of shepherding the other team.
Middle lane, big ultimates coming down. Kiki or not gets first blood as he combines with the Odin ultimate to drop the Kraken down and claim the life of Agni. So that's going to be 1 kill on the board for Team Complexity. They're already leading the game by 1,000 gold, just 4 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Well, Thor taken to the sky. He's looking to dive in. He's jumped in. He's got the Berserker Barrage. He's got it, and this looks good, man. That is just a good play by him. They didn't get as much as he wanted out of it, but he still used his passive to the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I made a mistake. They didn't use the Kraken during that first play, so it was available on the second one.
I listened to it. I was like, wait.
It was available on the second one, which actually got the kill down for them. So good display of restraint coming out from the mid laner there for Complexity.
Thor's going to lose another speed buff here. This is great rotations coming out of Complexity. As you can see it right now, early on, this is what you like to see. You want to see just these small jungle invades that start adding up over time. And if Thor without a speed buff is still very scary, but Thor with the speed buff is like a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, his mobility is already off the charts. You give him a speed buff, it just means he can literally run faster. So that's going to make him even more mobile. Let's talk a little bit about this solo lane while we have a lull in the action, Scott. Bakasura versus Guan Yu. Who do you think, level 20 full out, who do you think is more of an impact to the team, the healer or the chomper?
Well, Guan Yu's going to get to this point where he's just going to kind of shepherd the other team, right? Like he's going to kind of corral them in there, and he's going to be able to do some damage. And his heal is going to scale decently, not as good as, like, let's say, a Ra or Hell, right? But the thing is they have a decent amount of peel as well as their team. I mean, you look at it, you have the Ymir, you have the Agni Stun, you have the Weaves. Bakasura has to play it very careful, and if you're Cyclone Spin, you have that ability because Cyclone Spin's probably one of the top solo laners getting ready to go into the season.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Cyclone Spin, not only one of the top solo laners, one of the top prospects or players going into Season 2. A lot of people had their eye on him. I think Guan Yu is the better character in the late game in this particular matchup. But as you said, Cyclone Spin can sort of make anything work. So we're going to have to watch out for the player outside of the god this time around, which is definitely one of the more interesting things we have about our game. Left-hand side, Cupid versus Nanton on Neath. Level 8 to level 8, pretty even. Haven't spoken anything about
this big Thor's taking to the skies here in the mid lane. We're going to see, we got the Whirlpool down. Odin's going to be able to get one, and they're going to go ahead and push out there. As we take a look at the right side, no follow-up there at all, just a waste.
Ally does get the kill in that duel in against Nanton. Just straight up aggression, and I like this calculated aggression. Cyclone Spin takes out Wolfie as well. This is a spearheaded attack, but over in the left-hand side of the jungle, Weaken getting a little hungry. Brochacho forced off of the speed buff. Here comes Incon from behind. Frozen, walled off. Weaken's gonna chase, drops the damage. El Brochacho down to about 40% HP. Not able to do much, and Thor's gonna come and wall out and just sort of provide some sort of resistance. But I really liked this play here, Scott. Basically what happened was mid lane went for the kill with Odin, left lane went for a one-on-one kill with the Hunter, right-hand lane went for a kill. They all went at the same time, and that was really exciting.
Yeah, and that's a big swing in gold as well when you take a look at it, man. I mean, Gold Fury at this time, this is cruising. XP 5,600, gold difference 3,500. This is just really kind of getting out of hand. And, you know, I hate to say it, I hate to make the comparison, but this reminds me a lot of how the Thirst games went last year.
Yeah, I mean, the core of this team is thirst, and we talked a little bit about yesterday. Is Nantan fully committed to this? Has Brochacho really learned what the mistakes that he had made last year? Like, what are we going to see out of these guys? These guys are doing some of the right things, but not all of the right things. Yeah. And Complexity, Scott, is actually doing all the right things.
Yeah, their pressure, I mean, you can kind of see how Athena's been everywhere. When you take a look at her kills here, she's got 1 kill, 1 assist. Left side, Fields of Love's going to go down. This is 1 dead Ymir. I don't see him getting out of this one. Neath got the weaves there. She's going to try to slow her down a bit, but it's not going to do enough as Allied's going to be on the board now. Allied is another one of these players who has just fallen short every single time. He's always been like 3rd place. He's never been able to really break into that top spot, and I think this might be his year.
I mean, we talk a lot about, and I definitely agree with you, and the reason being is we talk a lot, or I talk a lot specifically, about Allied being a great hunter in the team fight, and in the lane just gets outshined by a lot of players. One thing I need to say is that Nantan is probably on the weaker end of players in the laning phase, so there is that mechanic going on right now. But Cupid is just a character that shines both in lane and in the fight. Speaking of fights, right-hand side, Elbow Chacho gets stuck, ultimate out, and the ring is down. What are they going to do?
I think they're just going to die, man. They have no follow-up at all. Complexity just shredding through him. You can see Guan Yu kind of dash out, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with Guan Yu. Not enough. He gets on the horse. Will it be? Cyclone Spin picks up the mid lane Agni. That's going to be a lot of bursts down. We can use his hit burst on Elbro Chacho. Incon takes out El Tapu with a good shield wall, and Wolfie going to heal only himself up and find himself safely under the tower. 9.5 minutes into our contest. 9 kills for Complexity, 2 kills for HiFive, and leading by about 5,000 gold.
Yeah, and this is just, they're going to add a 500 into it as well as they take this tier 1. They might look to aggress on the tier 2, but looking at the respawn timers on the side, they really don't have that option as Allied's just got a bomb on Nantan, man. Cupid, I made a pact that I would never play Cupid when I first joined.
He looks dumb.
Yeah, he looks so dumb, right? But I'm kind of getting sold on him. He's very, very strong. With the attack speed items that are available to him now, you're going to see kind of his build right in front of you. You can kind of see his thought process there, and that's really how you get Cupid online.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, he's an ability-based character that needs to use his basic attacks to really make those abilities count. Basically, your basic attack 8 times in a row. The Heart Bomb, which is a bread-and-butter move, gets stronger and even stuns. You put that into the ultimate, and there's really nothing anybody can do. You know, Ymir fell out of favor for not being mobile. People picked him up because it really is just how aggressive he was. Against the Cupid, Scott, he's dead meat.
Yep. Right side, Cyclone looking to aggress. You can see the Butcher Blade just shredding through him. Breastplate isn't going to do anything. Cyclone should be able to jump out of this. He might tie to the minions. Oh, that's the Neath ult. Oh, please live.
The heal?
Please live. He lives.
It's good enough.
That's the plays.
The heal. Don't forget that heal also provides protections.
Yeah. Very, very big. Weekend could be in a decent amount of trouble here. He's got Incon coming to help him out. Here comes the ring. He's dodging around. Agni missing some bombs. Ymir going to go into the ultimate. Thor comes crashing down. Poseidon's going to be there with a big crack, and he's got one. Looking for the second one. The hammer goes out. He didn't teleport to the hammer. Oh, no. That is a catastrophic nightmare. As now we're going to see Incon try to peel. His team's not going to be there. Bakasura is going to go ahead and jump in. There's Regurgitate. Might be another dead Agni. Fields of Love. Allied's got one. Can he find the second? He does.
Scott, we've seen this 3 or 4 different times. The ring comes down from Odin, and Ymir just hits 4. He just immediately ultimates in response, thinking it's going to be enough. It's just not enough. 4 deaths, only 3 assists on HiFive support played by El Brochacho. It's just not strong enough against this Odin ring. Ymir doesn't know what to do. He's got the blink, but it's not a combat blink, so he's in a lot of trouble. How does he respond to this circle?
I don't know. I mean, the combat blink you would think would be a decent start, right? But it's not doing the things. And when you look at Complexity, you can kind of see a theme, right? It's, okay, we're going to Odin ring, then we're going to go into the Kraken, and then we're going to just do all the other damage. Regurgitate's going to be there. He force out the Aegis. He's got one, and he's actually going to get away. Wolfie's going to jump on the horse. Cyclone Spin, he's dead to rights here. He really can't live, as he's just going to go ahead and clean this one up.
And that's going to be the first kill on a HiFive solo laner, Wolfie. But here comes Poseidon aggressing on him. Throws down the Whirlpool. Kraken's going to hit, but not with the center. But just a couple of more basics. Kiki hits him with the one as Incon across the map takes out his enemy support. And the fight rages on. They're fighting. They're going to run under the tower. Penanton will be safe. 18-4 here, Scott. 13 minutes. Complexity really driving this ship.
Yeah, and when you take a look at the items, I mean, you can just see HiFive is a full item and a half behind. This should be the Gold Fury. There's no one who can really contest it unless Neith gets all of a sudden. Maybe if she had Mannequin Scepter, right? If she had it. We are going to see the Thor ultimate. He might be able to get the steal. Harpom's going to be there. He's going to get taunted as well. HiFive has actually stolen the Gold Fury. They're trying to crawl back into this one. Incon's going to go ahead and peel out. Weaken's got the shield online. He's trying to do the things, but he's not able to, as he's just going to have to get out of here. Bakasur's going to be here. They can't commit on this or else they might all die. Cyclone Spin is the last person you want to go against in this scenario, as Weaken's trying to buy time. And is he going in? No, he's not going
They just wanted to pick up that kill. I think that kill was very important.
Okay, good.
A lot of times you say don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. That particular time, you really needed to chase. They've shrunk this lead down to about 5K, where previously was a lot higher than that. And they're going to pick up the left-hand side Harpies as well. And with El Brochacho go to the right-hand side, and that'll be right Harpies. Just very early in this match, so the Harpies still mean a lot. Shrunk this lead down to what looks like 4K, Scott. This is
the Gold Fury was huge, 4,200.
Gigantic.
Honestly, the big story here in Smite, in case you're a new viewer, is all about the experience early on. In Smite, you gain levels very, very fast, and if you're down by 10,000 experience, you're in trouble. I mean, this is a simple numbers game for anyone who doesn't even know MOBAs. If you look on the left side, you can just see the numbers are higher than the right side. That's not fun.
No, it's definitely not fun. It's an uphill battle for sure. HiFive has showed people that they are not afraid of a little bit of an incline, though. They're going to go ahead. I mean, and if anything, if we talk anything about last year, Scott, we have to say at least they're used to playing like this.
For sure.
HiFive is not used to having a lead. So, I mean, in their previous iteration of Thirst. So
that is a very, very solid point. Allied's going to go ahead and get out of there with Cupid, as Incon's going to go ahead and two-man taunt. Are they really looking to commit on this? There's no way.
Yeah, no, there wasn't anything there. It was just a little harassment, which I like. You got to keep your enemy on your toes, even if you don't have anything. Sort of just throwing out blank counters for nothing.
Yep.
Just keeping people aware. Right-hand side, Cyclone Spin all by his lonesome. He's going to go ahead and back, and with a lot of money in his pockets, we'll see what he buys.
It should be an Executioner. I don't really see him going with the chin size approach here at all. You can see the Hasten Fatalis. So when you have a Hasten Fatalis, if you hit a successful auto attack, you're never going to slow down. So he doesn't need to waste money on Sprint 3. But at the same time, a lot of people ask themselves, is Sprint 3 better than Hasten Fatalis, because I'm guaranteed to just pop Sprint 3 and it's only 900 gold. Hasten Fatalis just seems to be consistent. Left-hand side, though, might see a continued engagement here.
So Cupid wants to hit a couple of times before he goes out. There's the beat, there's the ult, and that's a dead elbow. Chacho, no Odin ring needed, still gets stuck with a circle. Down comes Thor looking for some more. Weaken very low to jump out at the last second. Incon corrals two into Kiki's ultimate. That's going to take out Agni and El Chapu. And Natan's going to barely make it away, but not before claiming a kill of his own. Wolfie wants to commit. Natan says no. Wolfie is going to fall back. That's 4 members with Incon coming in. Scott onto this side. Bakasura is going to zone. That tower is going to fall. And Complexity takes the big lead one more time.
Yeah, this isn't the only tower that's going to fall here, F-Dot. This is going to be a tier 2 as well. And now there seems to be a little bit of an underlying strategy here. When you push the far left side, and if you can get that Phoenix down, it is the furthest point away from the Fire Giant, which means that they will always have eyes on HiFive if they go to push that lane. And if they don't, then their Titan's in jeopardy, so it's a brilliant play.
Right, I mean, a lot of times you need somebody to defend your Phoenix and your Titan against the Fire minions pouring in, and if you're all the way on the other side of the map, you can't assist in that Fire Giant. So you can sort of guarantee a 4v5 if you want to engage on that Fire Giant in the next couple, after the Phoenix is dead. So that's going to be a big hit for them. And, you know, we talked a little bit about this Guan Yu, Scott. He's level 16 now, it looks like. Level 13, so almost there. He has a couple of defensive items. He's not making the impact he really needs to this far into the game.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of items here, we're going to just kind of take a look and see what everyone's kind of building here. When you look at Odin, he's got the Rudenforge Hammer. He's got 300 health and a lot of protections.
blown up by
that
Vulture. That was a pick-off. HiFive needs to find those more and more. But here comes the counter initiation. You don't kill our friends. Kiki picks up one with the Kraken. El Chapu one more time. Misses the hammer teleport. Neith is going to ult absolutely into the fight. Gets a good route onto Incon, but Incon pays no mind as he's fully decked out in tank items. Level 15 already with that sovereignty online. Vulture stuck in between 4 members wearing blue. Cyclone Spin gets the last hit. That's a dead Agni, and Nantan's going to run away as he should because he's got no more friends. 24-8 reads the kill count. 18 minutes in, Complexity leads this match by 7,000 gold.
Now, if Ymir was down a little bit longer, I could say, are we going to see the Fire Giant? Fire Giant with some little new animations here. Taking a look. Player damage, Cyclone Spin, definitely leading the charts. They're going to go. Wolfie, nobody. Down he goes. Kiki having a great performance here on Poseidon. You can tell he's really put in a lot of work since that show match against against Cog Red, formerly known as Cog Red.
This is one of my favorite things to see in Smite and competition in general, Scott. You have a player that's known for a specific deficiency. We talked about it in the pregame show. He's not good at aggressive shoot you in the face mages. He picks one up and he's absolutely outstanding. 8, 3, and 7 reads his slash line, leading his team in gold. I think we can comfortably say his Poseidon is online.
Yep, now that's going to be a big rubber ducky making the noise here. Brochacha trying to wall himself off. He's delaying a little bit. Thor compression it. Berserker Barrage. Agni has the follow-up, but he doesn't have the damage. Allied's going to continue to push forward. Down he goes as well. 3 men, excuse me, get wiped off of HiFive, but the chase is not done as Incon's going to be able to hit the taunt. Do they have the follow-up, though?
They're going to jump on in. Nantan with a good defensive move, but Allied's going to pick that up. You know, Scott, Nantan in the middle lane, they had that gold fear. By chasing Nantan, they told everybody at home, everybody in the battlefield, we're going to Fire Giant. Come catch me if you can. Wolfie's going to come on in here, see if he can do anything, but this damage is too much. Fire Giant already hogged out. Wolfie sniffed it from a mile away. 49,000 to 4,000 gold. Reads the gold. Wolfie's going to fall back, and now with the Fire Giant buff online as well, huge lead, Scott. Where does Complexity put their sights?
I don't know, but looking at it, I think Bolter might have either not been paying attention or he kind of had a lapse in judgment looking at his build, but he did not. He just now finished Bancrofts, and this whole time he's been fighting with spears, so he's been getting the penetration, but he doesn't have the damage to really follow through with it. So the spear's not nearly as potent as it is when you look across the way. Poseidon, he's got Book of Thoth. So Book of Thoth already is going to give you a flat 100 power. He's got it all the way farmed up, and then he has the spear. That spear is doing significantly more damage on Poseidon than it has been for Agni.
Right, I mean, the penetration, basically what happens is the penetrations, without getting too mathy, is what allows your damage to do damage.
I avoid all numbers at all times.
Penetration allows your damage to do damage. But without the damage, your penetration isn't opening the door for anything. So you can open the door, but if nobody's coming in the house, what are you going to do? So you need to build that damage, either the Thought or the Bancroft, whatever you're building. Doomorb, even if you're that crazy. You need to have your power battery first before the penetrations come online. Right-hand side, protections and penetrations don't matter with Bakasura's true damage. And El Chapu's finally going to get hammer and run away.
Oh, they got the stuns. They can't get the Kraken off just yet.
There it is.
Kraken's going to come out. Kraken's going to do about half health. Allied's going to clean that one up. Thor, oh man, bad timing as he might get chased down, and that's going to be Cyclone Spin. He dodges the Tectonic Rift. Here comes Regurgitate. Here's a little bit of a slow. The Aegis is going to be there, but he's just delaying the inevitable at this point as he's just going to die. 3 members just waiting on these creeps to kind of get up to the point. Allied's going to go ahead and shred through it with Cupid. On the right side, though, Weaken doing everything. Athena comes in. They might be looking to end.
Jump with the Athena, and Cyclone Spin gets the hit. Nantan going to take a lot of damage. Cyclone Spin absolutely decimating. Surrender Vote has started. Complexity is aggressing down the middle lane, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be the game, folks. Complexity, 57,000 gold to 43,000 gold. The other side, the kills